These are my shoes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shyzalosophy 101. That's right, it's great to be alive. Here's your host, Shyzabox. Oh, is the show starting? Oh, it must be. Oh, we heard our introduction. You guys never tell us when to start. Girl. Whoa, girl. Girl. Get out of here. And the horse you wrote in on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome nuns and all. That's right, priests, preachers, cardinals, rabbis, weirdos with beardos, bishops, missionaries, Mormons, whoever's around kicking it, looking to have that of themselves a good time. Oh, I'm sorry. We misspoke. A time. Guess we can't guarantee it'll be good. Subjective, right? That's right. Open to interpretation. That's why, obviously, when we called Daryl Dixon dibs at being the best of the worst internet celebrity there was, okay, we knew that it was a necessitation for us to not only keep track of that of what we did, that of what we ventured to do, that of where we embarked upon, both, philosophically, theologically, historically, okay, and just whatever trajectory life brought us upon, we knew it was very, very important, okay, to maintain a knowledge base, to maintain an understanding, okay, and that of where we were coming from. So we would take notes in journals, and we knew when we started live streaming and called Daryl Dixon dibs on being best of the worst internet celebrity there was, we wanted to offer a way for other people too. So we have an officially endorsed live stream note-taking journal, obviously. All good live streamers should have them, right? Obviously. Now, we're not saying this is a good live stream, nor are we good live streamers, right? No. We called Daryl Dixon dibs on being best of the worst. We merely, with being best of the worst internet celebrities there is, we're the ground floor level of crap, right? Everything else you watch is going to be better. Guaranteed to be, okay? You have to annotate that on occasion, even in those bigger, better streams. And what better way than by having an officially endorsed by a live streamer, maybe not a good one, utilize their officially endorsed live stream note-taking journal. You're taking notes left and right. Look at all these note-taking lines you can take notes on. I mean, I don't know if you've ever used a journal before, but, really, hello and hi, who's that? It's Operator Kev. Well, hey, Kev. Good thing that your descriptive name actually answered that of who was asking who it was. Oh, another hello and hi. What? 2 people are watching today? Oh, the algorithm tricked a couple people. We didn't even bust out our marketing tactics and techniques yet to elicit such a giant viewership of more than one person. Hi, Mom. We didn't even bust out our entire invested literary earnings from wacky waving inflatable flailing arm guy to elicit such subscribifications and stop buys. Who's that? Parton and Leah Tuophilia? What? More people? A Cookie Monster guy? Oh, jeez. That's the most interaction or, let's be honest, human contact we've had in some time. That's right. Oh, sorry, God. We're joking. Okay, it's all for philosophical entertainment. Didn't mean to upset the powers that be. It's storming here. And believe you me, God says, don't lie, Shyzabox. You are loved. That's right. We trick all sorts of people just like the algorithms. Got people to stop by. Let's take note of it in our officially endorsed live stream note-taking journal. Or don't. It's expensive. Don't buy that. Don't buy that, and don't buy the physical copy of Delectable, okay? Well, because it's free. Don't buy it. If you buy it, you're going to create a tally number up here, okay? Don't do that. This is the dumb-tectable test, okay? Don't buy this book. It's free. Go read it on Kindle Unlimited with a free trial. Do not buy this book, and you don't have to buy this book, okay? Now, you do whatever you want to. 10-10. Well, 10-10, absolutely. 10-10 wet. What's up, dude? Worked a 12-hour shift last night just winding down scrolling lives and found this dream. Well, man, if you thought your 12-hour shift was long and hard, try making it through the entire stream. It doesn't even matter how long it goes. You're probably already exhausted. You're at the end of a, long day, as you've stated, and, lo and behold, your algorithm tricks you into clicking on this. And then who is it? That's Kev, right? We can call you Kev, of course, right? Nah, of course we can. K-Money. So K-Money, we didn't know. Do you ever do stand-up? No, we wish that we could, but we do practice stand-up when we actually get up. We can try that now. Yes, excellent. Physical humor. We love that of Lithic Logic. No, we don't do stand-up, because, believe you me, it wouldn't be good. We leave that to that of the comedians. We are merely that of Shyzabox. We're just a philosopher, okay? So on occasion, yeah, we can make an occasional subtle gesture or metric of poking fun. That inevitably can correlate to something that, is construed as comedy. Now, obviously, usually not the case, and believe you me, we find a bunch of Shyzas, right? We find a lot more stuff funny than a lot of people probably do. Now, inherently, Shyzabox us here, we's at a good old little point in our, kind of research and our endeavors and our methods where all of our theory is proven, okay? We've already done all of our work to such a degree, it doesn't even matter, okay? We get to do whatever we want now because we are fortunate and blessed enough to want for naught, okay? That's very important. We're fortunate and blessed enough to want for naught. So with our theory already being proven, we literally moved a metric kernel of data from Kaggle to Web3, okay? Now, in doing such, we have ingrained that of our logic, our SHA seals, okay? I mean, it's done. You're not unwriting it, okay? Centered, completed. We operate on now keep in mind, this is all for philosophical entertainment, okay? Well, it has to be, okay? Whether it's entertaining or not, all right? One's understanding is subjective to that of one's understanding. What's this? Gotta take notes with the notebook. Well, of course you do. That's why we offer that of the note-taking live stream, note-taking journal. You can't just go into live stream thinking that, guess I'm not gonna take notes today. You think Joe Rogan appreciates that? He don't give a fuck, he's rich. Huh, what? Everything's fine. Huh, what? Well, Kev, we can call you Kev, right? Yeah, of course we can. K-Money, we really didn't know we were going to be doing a pickup game of philosophy today, okay? Or we did. That's kind of what we do. But we don't want to start looking ridiculous on the internet. We already do crazy things like claim we've theoretically decoded Voynich manuscript and things of that nature. Bold claim, Cotton. Better have some computational math to back that shit up online, right? Oh, we do. Yeah, we utilize Kaggle, computational script code mathematics. Go check it out. It's auditable in the descriptification. Bold claims on the internet, Cotton. You got to back that shit up nowadays, right? Can't just go around the high school playground. You played in the high school playground? Can't just go around the elementary school playground saying that, I beat Mario World on one life, okay? People won't believe you. Now you gotta have the trophy of affiliated with your account that you pay some company like Sony or Microsoft to keep track or tabs of your accolades pertaining to that of what you've done. Okay? We don't need accolades like a New York Times best-selling award or medal, even though we desired once upon and would still love to inherently get one, regardless of the means, measures, or metrics it's afforded to. Okay? But we don't need to be justified. Our work exists. Our theory is proven. We moved a metric kernel of data from Kaggle to Web3. We have our own sovereign micro blockchain. It's the IPFS site. Go check that shit out. We don't hide behind the math, we don't hide behind the science, and we don't work for a big corporation, and we're not under an NDA. So we're not beholden to work for an HR department either that we need to watch what we say. That might come back to hurt us a little bit later on, believe you me. Why would that make you cheer? Our work is done. We have nothing left to prove, and empirics be damned. The education system be damned, okay? Bold claim, Kai. You can't just say that, okay? There's a place for it, and it is relevant, and it is needed, and it has everything that it does, but we don't need empirical validation, okay, for that of what we've done. Our math exists. We don't hide behind it. It's on the Kaggle, okay? Go check that shit out. Audit the hell out of it. That's entirely up to you, okay? But we know not everyone likes math. We know not everyone likes theory, okay? But we know everyone wants to have fun, usually, okay? So we got free games, we got free demos, we got all the free fun stuff on the IPFS site, okay? Go play with that. You don't need to engage with the math, because math sucks sometimes, okay? Now, everything sucks sometimes, so it's not just math. But like we said, we didn't know we were going to be doing a, kind of pick-up game of philosophy today, okay? Even though we did. So, we don't look any further ridiculous on the internet. Let's put on our thinking hats, okay? That's right. We can't just sit around looking crazy on the internet, okay? So, obviously, we want to be sure that we are wearing the right thinking material, okay? So we don't look foolish, right? Okay, let's make sure we didn't miss anything that you have said that is better than what we know. Blah, 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 blah. Kev's good, but K-Money is great. Well, of course it is K-Money! It's because it's our nickname for you, Kev. That's why we call you that. All right, so Kev, that's why we're going with... Everything is in the description. That's right, we try... Well, no, that's the thing. K-Money. We can call you K-Money, right? Yeah, of course you can. We've already established that. We go back to ones of chat ago. Kev, technically not everything's in the descriptification, okay? We apologize. Now, that's right. There's only so many characters, and Kev, we have got so many working Kaggle notebooks. They're predominantly majority open source and available. Now, there's some that we have created that are not open, all right, because there's some theories that are not for dissemination. Now, there's some theorizing and things of that nature that even us, as practiced cosmological philosophers, regardless of how society views us, of how good or not good we are at that, we have literally monographed lectin, a pre-Stoic philosophical term, and written a book about it, okay? It should have never been done. It never needed to be done. Lectin are unsayables, right? The necessitation for us to literally write a book is because humanity and mankind is stupid, okay? We literally wrote a paragraph, us being philosophers, us being historians, okay? We were on Wikipedia's site, and they had a red dead-end search term, okay, that they did not have any additional information on, okay? Unacceptable. We want to know, okay? We are historians. We shall get to the truth. Thusly, we did. Wikipedia did not have it, all right? It was a red term. So we wrote a paragraph and said, hey, add this. And they said, no. We said, okay, well, you should, because this is this. Send it to someone who understands it. So they did. They forwarded it to their stupid boss. Okay? Now, their stupid boss, hypothetically, this all for philosophical entertainment, of course, in our opinion, Wikipedia's stupid boss over their stupid employee, theoretically, took a look at it, read it, and said, no, okay? Well, that's right. Well, Shyzabox is like, okay, well, why don't you send it to someone who understands it? So, stupid boss from stupid employee, theoretically, sends it to their stupid boss, okay? It's crazy how that company works. I don't know. We've never worked for Wikipedia. This is all just us theorizing how their chain of command works. So, stupid, stupider, stupidest gets the thing, and, you know, they read it, look it over, and they go, no. Okay, well, that's fine. So, we wrote an entire book monographing Lectin because Wikipedia's stupid. Doesn't matter if they accept it or not. Lectin is an unsayable term. This book shouldn't even exist, okay? Do not buy this book. Okay, it literally, this book broke Amazon.com's pricing algorithm, okay? You can't make this up. We've already proved our theory, okay? Lectin are the unsayable, okay? They're representative. They can be and be utilized in all sorts of tool-esque manners, especially computationally, for that of one's logic and understanding, and computationally that of computer coding, mathematics, scientific methodologies, things of that nature. Okay? We moved an entire metric kernel of data from Kaggle's infrastructure to Web3 environment, which is decentralized for everybody, okay? Free. You're welcome, world. Play with it. Do with it as you will. You need not like Shyzabox. You need not like how we talk, how we interact. You may not like our games. You may not like our books. You may not like our poetry. How could you not like our poetry? Because it sucks. What? Damn it, Mom, keep those comments to yourself. Stop being funnier than us. You don't have to buy our books, okay? It's a reciprocal entanglement or interaction with that of our conscious thought. This is the only thing that we paywall, okay? This show will always be free. Our code, our demos, our everything, that is computational mathematical code available for anyone. We didn't create math. We didn't invent the lithical inherent structure that can support that of the internet and that of, in essence, an entire grid. You need not buy our books. You don't need to go and reference Pickled Punk Philosophy that we put out after we talked to Wikipedia because we were pissed at them. And by talk to them, I mean heard from their stupid organization 3 or 4 times up their chain of command until we're like, fuck you guys, okay? We don't need your empirical proof. We don't need your shitty fucking website that we were told entirely growing up never to use, reference, or anything like that for any work of reference that we ever did in school, okay? All of a sudden, money gets injected into the system and Wikipedia is an acceptable fucking source. Get the fuck out of here. That's bullshit, internet, you know, and you might not like our vulgarity and we might get set off a little bit and perturbed when it comes to that, but it is bullshit. There is knowledge being gatekept. There is knowledge being safeguarded, with which should be entirely free. Now, as we said, academics has their place. Wikipedia is a fantastic service. What? How can we say that both ways? Just because that of which, all right, has a overseeing entity, the overseeing entity is a stupid human. Mankind is stupid. Mankind is flawed. Mankind, theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment, misinterpreted the hell out of the timeline. You can't argue it. The mere fact, all right, that Göbekli Tepe exists throws the entire timeline of mankind's knowledgeable understanding out the window. When we did New Non-Native Species on Mankind's Origin, that's exactly the time that we were theorizing that of the fallout of mud flood and things of that nature. Okay, again, all for philosophical entertainment. But you start looking at ancient lithical grids that were in existence, that of the Giza pyramids, that of the Azures Plateau that's underwater right now. If you line those up with Stonehenge and things of that nature, then you can use geothermal at a 92% effective rate. Okay, we've computationally verified it. Go look and check it out for yourself. We don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science. The Azures Plateau underwater, okay, if you harness that, which theoretically it would be used in essence as the Atlantis Massif, okay? And beyond theory at some point, okay? I mean, we got charts, we got stuff. Follow us on Bluesky, follow us on X, follow us on LinkedIn, or don't. We don't give a shit, okay? Like we said, okay, that might come back to bite us. We don't ascribe to an HR department, okay? We're not under an NDA, anything like that. Maybe we become too volatile for one with which to deemably, quantitatively wish to even embark on a relationship therewith. Okay? That's entirely fine. Let that of what resonates and take effect, let that be what does. We operate on an entirely closed, Shyzalosophical Clodelian loop, okay? Crazy talk. If you're living in a living system, i.e. the 3D world, okay, a living system cannot be aware of itself as being, you know, aware and living to the degree and capacity that people understand it to be. Theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment. It is this point in time in the show that we do want to apologize for our last stream. Well, you know, on occasion we can't be perfect. That is God's job. But pertaining to our last stream, sorry about that. Excellent. Forgive and forget, right, Kev? Yeah, of course. K-Money. Where were we? What? I believe a lot of our history of mankind has been hidden, lied about myself. Well, yeah, absolutely, K-Money. Not only that, okay, but ironically, it's mathematically and scientifically proven now, should you want to go to the Kaggle. If you go to the descriptification, okay, we actually ran computational code, has outputs and everything, okay? We actually, we have made posters, okay, and now we don't got good examples on here, because, believe you me, the show's poor. So we don't invest in that of which, you know, we use minimal for maximal, okay? We got the submerged grid poster. It's on, you know, our Kaggle, or not Kaggle, I'm sorry. It's on our Bluesky and on the X and on the, you know, LinkedIn and stuff like that, okay? That's not a colorful poster, okay? You got to see that one, of course, digitally and magnify it. We got tax posters and stuff, and we know they're reverses backwards from internet magic. Okay? But, you know, conceptually, it's all there, all right? All sorts of stuff. But you got planetary dynamics and things of that nature, all right? To where you can harness geothermal power, and theoretically, the ancients did, okay? You look at those old structures that we misinterpreted and got wrong. Stonehenge, the pyramids, okay? Look at the old path that the Nile River used to run, okay? Water could have theoretically been a conductor, okay? People have mapped out the geometrical arrangement and alignment of structures, both monolithically and, you know, geographically and regionally for quite some time. We are not the first ones to do it, okay? Now, we may be the first ones to put thought to theory and merge that of lithos and logos because good old Shyzabox is the vernacular master, okay? That's right, because we play in that of the good old metaphysical, okay? Metaphysics is crazy, okay? Aristotle was very, very smart. Pythagoras was very, very, very smart, and we loves us some St. Thomas Aquinas, okay? That's our trio of metaphysical playing. What are you saying? I agree. I believe the pyramids are power plants or something along those lines. Yeah, so, hey, get this. You'll really love this, Kev, okay? K-Money. In the descriptification, okay, go to Lithic Logic Reign Supreme, okay? In that notebook itself, there is a SHA, I think it's a SHA 516, or it might be a SHA 3 something seal. Okay, that is your computational proof, all right? That the embedded logic, okay, in these structures doing exactly what we're saying, in essence, was that, all right? The residential aspect of being able to harness geothermal energies, okay, to power that of a universal entire grid is not only plausible, but extremely, extremely possible, and more than likely, theoretically, without empirical validation therewith, because of mankind's misunderstandings, very, very much probably was how the ancient grid used to operate, okay? Obviously, before mankind got here, okay, and that's, you know, new non-native species on mankind's origin, before mankind even got here, okay, and or if they were here in some degree, guise, or, you know, establishment thereof, they obviously did not inherently and or were not directly responsible without an outside understanding, okay? Now, whether it was an organic outside understanding to that of mankind's understanding, or an inorganic understanding, if you want to venture into that of the hypothetical into any direction, the Watchers, the fallen angels, divine intervention, okay? Whatever you want to look at as far as the guise of why, let's set that aside for a second because it is of irrelevance, and those are just stumbling blocks that we will put upon ourselves to argue about dumb shit. The point is that with Lithic Logic, okay, that of what we base that of Shyzalosophy on, okay, Lithic Logic reigns supreme, okay? We didn't invent it. Therefore, anyone can like it because it's not directly tied to us, okay? Theoretically, this was around, this is what the ancients used, okay? Stone and rock and structures of such, even though, yes, they weather, yes, they can be destroyed, blown up, fragmented, this, that, the other, okay? Inherently, they withstand the test of time far, far, far more greatly, okay, than that of biological entities and things of that nature right off the cusp, okay? As far as the degradation and breakdown process, it's just inherently known. Put a dead corpse in the ground next to a boulder and see after 100,000,000 years which one has better remnants left over, okay? Theoretically, I guess we don't know, but we're guessing the boulder. This is a rock. I don't know. Same structure all throughout. Regardless of what happened, there's probably going to be some of that. Point is that lithic, solid rock foundation, all right, was around for some time. The ancients knew it. They utilized it. They built with it. We didn't build this shit. Okay? A different type of mind built this. It could have been a human mind, regardless of how it was influenced. Okay? That's beside the point. What's that? Hold on. We'll get right to that. I know there's a lot of stuff there, okay? But the Lithic Logic, the stone foundation, it is in existence, okay? It is physically there. You can walk up to it. You can touch it. You can feel it. Stonehenge, there. Pyramids, there. Göbekli Tepe, there. Physically, they are present. Can we agree on that? That is Lithic foundation of knowledge. Let us bridge, regardless of anyone's beliefs in theology, regardless of anyone's views on science or math or, religion, theology again. Regardless of any of that, okay, Shyzalosophy is about the foundation upon Lithic Logic, okay, the stone foundation with which we can build a betterment for mankind under the guise of a knowledge that can exist within the system that exists, that anyone can practice whatever the fuck they want, okay? Let that of whatever deity and or being that you adhere to, ascribe to, believe in, have mercy on that of your soul. Now, let's catch up with the chat. We know a lot to bite off and a lot of ramblings and things of that nature. Shyzabox is crazy. Talk amongst yourselves, but not in the chat. We got to read some of those. Talk to yourself. Make yourself look crazy too. We might even read the chat out loud so it's like you can keep up with the show and it's entertaining. All right, let's find where we left off in the chat. That was unnecessary. Excellent. All right. I agree. I believe power mid plant says something like that. All right. Heck, Tesla knew how to create energy from the air. Absolutely. And not only that, K-Money. I mean, you're on. We're going to catch up all of it. But yes, entirely correct. Not only that, but he demonstrated it, proved it, and I mean, believe you me, you can venture into all sorts of theory and form and function, and again, this is all philosophical entertainment. We never ran the math on the Eiffel Tower or anything like that, but we have done quite a bit of math on Tesla. This is another bold claim of the internet, Cotton. Get this shit, K-Money. We play very well with Tesla and that of our works, okay? We kind of solve Tesla's 369, okay? Bold claim on the internet, Cotton. 1 divided by 7, okay, is going to yield you the only number without the, remaining yield of 3, 6, and 9 within it, okay? You're not looking for 3, 6, 9. You're looking for the removal and omission of 3, 6, 9. Again, theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment, okay? 1 divided by 7, you do that, and then you're going to get your number without the 3, 6, 9 within that of your answer, okay? Tesla even said, once you understand the 369, then you're, whatever, okay? Theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment, okay? Obviously. We'll see what happens to that of good old Shyzabox's notebooks when good old Shyzabox is dead and gone. They'll be burned, they suck! What? Anyone can practice that of what they do, okay? But yeah, you go out verifying, or stating stuff like theoretically solving the Voynich manuscript. That's a bold claim on the internet. We said that shit months ago. We dare people to audit us. We tell them to. We provide the math because we don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science. We didn't invent math. We didn't invent the mechanics and structures of lithical rock foundation. It was here before we got here. We were told in society that shows like Big Bang Theory were fantastic and awesome and fun. So why is it crazy when someone who majored in history, minored in philosophy, takes it upon themselves to practice that of cosmological philosophy and the guise and means of those stars, those accolades with which were given to the great entities of the scientists on Big Bang Theory, okay? Not only can we do it now, we do it better, okay? Far, far better. We don't hide behind the math and science, okay? Let Sheldon keep working on tying his shoes, okay? Shyzabox has long progressed past that, and that is a bold claim on the internet. But when you provide things like saying, hey, here's our take on Tesla, or here's our take on the periodic table, or here's our take on Einstein, or here's our take on, the metrics and guise of where the hell were we in our train of thought? The Voynich manuscript, okay? Yo, boomer, you're old as hell. What? Nah. That was mean, Mom. Regardless of, any of those are very bold things to claim. So computationally, you need to back it up, okay? So just off the top of the head, 1 divided by 7. You probably have a calculator. Feel free to do that of math. Now, holy shit, we would hate to be wrong on that and just off the top of our head, not checking our notes because Shyzabox isn't perfect. Not recall that it's not 1 divided by 7. That does not yield the results of 3, 6, and or 9, and that of the decimal there, fraction thereafter. But whatever the point, so we can go check our notes if we really want to get into the nitty gritty. Okay, please just tell us we're wrong and we'll apologize. Okay? We aren't perfect. We aren't right on everything. But holy shit, I guarantee you that of lithical knowledge is what the ancients used, hands down. They built out of stone, they built out of that rock foundation because it existed, okay? If you can harness a 92% free energy geothermal from the Azores Plateau, which is underwater now, okay, which used to align with that of Göbekli, of the Stonehenge and the Great Pyramids and everything like that, you have an entire universal world grid right at your fingertips for free. Oh. All right, a lot of people don't look that and understand that. But right on the money. Hold on, let's catch up because we might be behind a little bit, but we see something on the other. All right, Tesla knew how to create energy from thin air. Yes. Believer in the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Yeah, we are Catholic by nature, okay? Here's the thing, okay? All right, we base everything on lithic knowledge, but as a philosopher, as someone who goes around saying that we theoretically decoded the Voynich manuscript, okay, which we believe we did, okay, or that, we've solved Tesla and such with the 1 divided by 7, 369 not being in the remainder thereafter. You're not looking for 369, rather the omission thereof. Hey, we look at it differently. With Voynich manuscript, we don't look at it linguistically. We look at it mathematically. For 600 years, people have been trying to solve the mystery, ourselves included. We used to think it was linguistical. We dove into linguistics for years. Man, every single one of our books has linguistics in it for the most part, as the philosophy ones. We got Sanskrit, we got Hebrew, we got Russian, we got Latin, we got cuneiform, we got all sorts of stuff in our books. We have entire sections called Shyzalosophy, okay, linguistics, right? We like to take the reader on that of our studies and things of that nature. Remember, do not buy this book. What do we have in this one? Old English. Same thing. Sanskrit, Avestan. What else was in this one? Akkadian cuneiform versus Egyptian hieroglyphics and things of that nature. I think most of the hieroglyphics, some of that's in the other ones too. It doesn't matter. Hey, we've done linguistics for a while, and yeah, when we go stating things like, theoretically decoded the Voynich manuscript, it's mathematical, not linguistical, okay? That's a bold claim, Cotton. Well, we got the math to back it up, okay? It is 0.85 millimeter gaps within that of the works. Same kind of metric that we use within the partial gap, system of that of our understanding, okay? Again, we didn't invent this stuff. This was around before we got here. We just looked at it a little differently than everyone else, okay? One of our old favorite things to say, because in school, we are not a very studious person. We didn't learn how to do school until our last couple of years of college, okay? When you take a test in math, and you are looking at the flat piece of paper. Hold on, let's get a little better example, okay? Say you're looking at say this word ironclad, which is reverses backwards, okay? Say this is your piece of paper, okay? And your test question is this, and say it's a mathematical equation, okay? Say this is a line. What is the distance of this line? And that's what you have to solve, okay? Growing up, you're viewing that right now as this, okay? You see this line, that's what you're gonna measure, okay? That's how we saw our papers growing up the whole time we were alive. We're still alive, ironically. But what we did is we read Aristotle, learned some metaphysics, then we read Pythagoras and learned some crazy shit of physics. We stopped looking at the line we were measuring this way, and guess what we did? We turned it this way, and now look at the line this way, okay? Now, this is just a thin part of, little paper. This is a little palimpsest of our transmutating God book, right? The fact that when you have a line of information, okay, say this is the line you're measuring, okay? What if you turn it this way? Now, how much bigger is the space that you're working on, okay? Now, say this is your line, and then you turn it on its side this way. Now, how much bigger is that space you're working with? Okay, the grid is ever expanding. It ever goes, okay, no matter what you do with it, theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Everything's fine. Oh, what was that? Let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay, all for philosophical entertainment. The grid is ever expanding, okay? We work on a universal grid, okay? Our grid does not end. Therefore, it correlates really, really, really nicely with that of, working objectionable metrics with that of the reality. When we make games, when we make code, when we literally say that we have merged that of lithos and logos, that is a bold claim and statement to make on the enter of the net zones. You are going to get raked over the coals, okay? Hence, when you asked us, and we'll get back to it, sorry, you asked the resurrection of Jesus Christ, okay? We ourselves, all right, are Catholic by that of our innate teachings that were given to us from a youthful age, okay? We grew up Catholic, we practice, we preach Catholic, this, that, the other, okay? Now, good old Shyzabox has the understanding that that of Catholics could very well be wrong, okay? Now, we don't want to say that Catholics are wrong, obviously, for we are of Catholic, okay? So, good old Shyzabox harbors those of his Catholic beliefs, okay, in his Shyzabox. But additionally, okay, because we are that of a philosopher and because we enjoy that of all components of theology, we actually took it upon ourselves to read the Bible in its entirety, okay? A lot of people do, not a big deal. Not only that, we read that of the Apocrypha texts, which are forbidden, that of the Nag Hammadi findings, that of the Dead Sea Scrolls, okay, that of the Ethiopian Bible. We read all of these in their entireties. We read every bit of parchment, piece of paper, bit of manuscript that we could pertaining to that of any of the missing, lost infancy gospels, that, there, the other. We read the Gospel of Mary, with which can be, contained to be true or not true or this, that, the other. It doesn't matter. Not only that, but good old Shyzabox, because we know that we want a universal understanding, and we know that we could be wrong. We understand we could be wrong, and sometimes very much on occasion are. But we took it upon ourselves, thusly, to as well read the Torah in its entirety. Okay? Then, because we did that, and still have a desire to have that of knowledge pertaining to theology and the beliefs that one may have or adhere to, because it is such a substrate foundation to that of what lithically is understood to be what is everlasting and present, regardless of how it got here. Insert deity of your choice here. God, Allah, Ein Sof, it matters not. Does Lithic Logic exist? Do rocks exist? Can we stand upon a rock to talk that of theology? If we have a foundation of understanding, we are brethren, we are mankind, and we can work together without fighting and squabbling over dumb shit. The dumbassery must stop. We have metrics to literally test how stupid and dumb mankind is, because we are that good at what we do. Hey, you can't make this shit up. You could, but it's funny, and we did. We took it upon ourselves to not stop at the Bible, the Ethiopian Bible, the assorted manuscripts and texts, okay? We didn't stop at the Torah, so we read, thusly, the Quran as well, okay? Now, because we didn't want to stop at the Bible, we didn't want to stop at the Ethiopian Bible, we didn't want to stop at the other broken parts of bits and pieces of parchment and information that was found in the disseminated and translated over the years, okay, that of the Nag Hammadi findings, that of the Dead Sea Scrolls, that of all those components, okay, we read all those, we read the Torah, we read the Quran, we additionally read the Book of Mormon. Let's ice the cherry on the cake. Good old Shyzabox wishes to be familiar with that of everything that anybody in this world can harbor as information, knowledge, or any of the metric of sort pertaining to that of our beliefs, God, an entity, or that of creation over that of our own knowledge. Get fucked, okay? Shyzabox does not accept that. Is that allowed? Yeah. Okay? We bow down and are subservient to no Elon Musk with $1 trillion fucking dollars. We bow down and are subservient to no man with which lords information or knowledge over that of our understanding. We may resonate, we may agree with, we may disagree with, we may partake in, we may incorporate that of others' understandings, Plato, Diogenes, Socrates, Nietzsche. Nietzsche sucks. Yeah, one or two good things, okay, arguably. But Nietzsche sucks. He got picked on in school for a reason. That's mean. Bullying's not allowed. It's not allowed and it's not nice, and we apologize for the vulgarity. Sorry, God. For God is the only one that inherently we need apologize to. That's the point. One's belief systems inherently, yes, Harvard maintained, we adhere to that of the Catholic philosophy and that of everything. That's why when we say get effed and yell it at, entities like Elon Musk, who's waving trillions of dollars, never waved trillions of dollars in our face, but if he did and his metrics and means did not align with that of our moral ramifications, we would tell him such as he has indicated in that of interviews he has given. Why is it okay for him to say it, but when crazy old Shyzabox, who is not on the same monetary level, it's not okay for them, okay? Knowledge is free, information is free, that's why we tell people, do not buy this book, okay? Literally, if you want to start getting into some more physics and stuff like that, all right, we have in our Shyzalosophical Gödelian closed-loop system, all right, we have, in essence, metaphysical empiricalization, okay? It's a working closed-loop system, all right, that uses self-referential integrity, all right, to seal itself, okay? We have Shah seals and everything because we computationally added mathematics and science to that of logic and reasoning, okay? That's how we are able to utilize that of, the bounds of going beyond Landauer, okay? Landauer is, disposable logic, okay? We go beyond Landauer so far that, we ask them to pick up our groceries on the way home. Now, I think Landauer's dead. He died back before 2000 or something like that. Right? Don't laugh at that. That's a human being. Landauer did some remarkable works, and it is very, very relevant. That's right. Do not negate that of Landauer's works merely because it's disposable logic. It is very relevant for that of a broken system. Okay? Again, let us understand, for philosophical entertainment, that of what the ancients utilized that theoretically broke down, that of lithic logic, that of the old grid, which aligned, like you said, before Kev, K-Money, and such, with that of where everything is structurally, wanting the pyramids to be that or that, this, that, the other. Yes, King's Chamber, look at that, okay? Inherently, get this. Those measurements line up with our 0.85 millimeter gaps as well. You can't make this shit up, okay? We literally, our lectin, Shyt, S-H-Y-T, is our mathematical lectin, okay? We wrote about it in Delectable. Don't buy this book. It's free. Go to Kindle Unlimited, start a free trial. Read it for free. Do not buy this book. If you do, it will change the metrics up here, and believe you me, this is a test of how stupid mankind is. So do not buy this book. Okay? For real. Lectin are a very, very, very useful tool with which to deduce or get whatever you want out of what you want. Okay? You can, what do you want us to make? We have made stuff with people on stream, and, you know, sometimes we do it day of. Yesterday, we made 2 Resonator demos. That's why the thumbnail for this one is the same thing, because there was a 9-year-old kid in the show, and show's not made for kids. In essence, the show got hijacked, and there wasn't a damn thing we could do about it. It's probably a better show than what we're used to. But no, on occasion, we'll spout off at the mouth. Like we said, we're not beholden to an HR department. We're not under an NDA, and we don't work for some big company whose reputation's on the line. It's Shyzabox's reputation, and we can tell people get effed because we have the mathematical computational data that backs it up and verifies it. Buy into it or don't. You don't have to. It exists. We literally SHA-sealed everything. You know what SHA-seals are, right? They're those things that, like, the NSA put together, created, devised. You know, theoretically, they might have already been there. We haven't looked into that, but that would be something that would be fun one day, or not. But, I mean, these are, you know, the unarguable, okay? These are the foundation, okay? You seal anything, and look at our newest Resonator demo that we made for the boss, okay, after we made the crappier one. Go in the descriptification, okay, and we put it on Pinata so that mobile can get to it easier, and this, that, the other. Some people don't like the Wild Wild West technologies of Web3, but believe you me, if you go to our IPFS site and you can pin that for yourself as well, that'd be fantastic and help us out a lot. Lets people access it faster, okay? It's a decentralized network. We got games, we got demos, we got theory. Do it or don't, it's up to you, okay? Those who resonate with the understanding will. Those who do not will continue to operate on the metrics and understandings of those who came after those who came before us in the new non-native species on mankind's origin that misinterpreted that of the grid and utilized it to where we live on a structurally broken one. Look at the entropy that's created on everything, okay? The second law of thermodynamics and such, it's negotiable. Stop trying to conduct energy through something by throwing shit at it. You're creating heat, you're creating runoff, you got all this, that, the other. Utilize the mechanics of what is afforded naturally in nature, geometrically in design, and just use lithic logic as the foundation. You can use magnetically centered means to use induction on a wiring configuration versus that of conduction forcing a current through. It's way more safe, theoretically, and probably more so. Let's see what we're missing, because, yeah, we get off on tangents and such like that. All right, something, yes, those safety glasses, they sure are. You never know what's going to come thrown at you in the internet, okay? Believe you me, on occasion, we'll grab a bunch of negative energy from the air, okay? And the internet's crazy. Metaphysics is crazy. So all this negative energy that started percolating into our lives through the magic of the internet, now that shit's in your house. Now it looks great around here. We really cleaned the place up. You don't have a ceiling. What? Ceilings are subjective. You don't need a ceiling when you live in the basement. You're right on the money. Well, we don't know what we're right on the money on, but we are right on the money on a variety of things, so it's no wonder that we're right on the money. Ironically, the one thing that's not right on us is the money, but it's not right on anyone for the money, right? That's why we like to give everything away for free, okay? This show will always be free, never behind a paywall, okay? When you call Daryl Dixon dibs at being the best of the worst celebrity there is, okay, which we did, obviously, the show's always going to suck. It's a ground floor level of crap. But our personal guarantee to everyone else is that anything else you watch, guaranteed to be better. Thoughts on Atlantis? Well, what kind of thoughts on Atlantis would you like us to entertain? Specify as like, did it exist? Was it covered up? Where within could its location be? We have in man, you go to our Bluesky or X, or we started Bluesky because X gave us some ridiculous suspensions. Okay? We literally got reinstated with the argument, we think, therefore we am. Their computer told us as a person we were not a person, okay? It's the funniest shit, okay? That's how our logic works. Like, we make AIs our understudies, okay? We are very, very, very good. We've created quite a few varieties and iterations, this, that, the other, okay? Vernacularly, yeah, we make AIs our bitch. Bold claim on the internet, Cotton. You can't just say that. Now, within which would you like to judge that of our works? But yeah, thoughts on Atlantis, definitely, presumably, we would say civilization-esque, regardless of how it was construed or understood to be, whether it was an advanced civilization, a, kind of gathering hub or anything like that. Theoretically, it would have, yeah, been in existence for that of its name to live through the ages, and then you start looking into, of course, Plato's descriptions thereof, theoretically what it is, or we're pretty sure it's Plato's. Holy shit, we'd hate to get that wrong. You start looking at his descriptions of, where Atlantis could be, would be, and such, and, its layout and design and things of that nature. And to us, it resembles a lot of geometrical concentric circling, okay? Now, believe you me, geometric concentric circles are very, very, very important to Lithic Logic because it's naturally how gain is measured and made in that of nature, okay? Well, why don't you come with some proof, Shyzabox, you boomer bastard? What? Told you not to call us that at work, Mom. Nature gives geometric circles on its own accord in accounting, okay? This stone here, these little geometric circles that are being created on their own measures, metrics, and accord. We can't see it. Your camera sucks. Well, the camera's free. You got these concentric circles, all right, that come about, that get created, all right, naturally, organically in nature. And what affords it to grow, okay? When you start with a small amount of something, okay, where does that power come from, okay? It's got to come from somewhere within nature. Yes? Correct. All right, plants get energy from the sun, this, that, the other. Where does the energy come from for that of rocks, for that of minerals, for that of crystals, okay? It comes from somewhere because you have, in essence, and here's where good old Shyzabox gets really fun, because we utilize a partial vacuum gap, okay, we don't operate in a complete vacuum-sealed environment. You can't. It's volatile and dangerous. What the hell? Leave some space for Jesus. One must operate. You start looking at what nature does, providing its own natural barriers, okay? We utilize a gap in that of our metrics, means, and understandings. Nature utilizes a gap, okay, based on lithical rock, okay? You see that white line under there? Before these little crystals and quartzes start growing, okay? There's the white line, all right, that goes around there and affords it the opportunity to be a structure to base something thereon. Hey, that's how we correlate to nature. We see stuff like tunnels or caves in the earth that are naturally made. Hence, metaphysically, you can quantum tunnel some shit. Theoretically, Bitcoin is not safe. Also, again, theoretically, we could theoretically move those 10 coins of Bitcoin everyone keeps eyes on. We never would, never will, but theoretically it could be done, right? You're working with bits and pieces of fragmented code, not completed, not in their entirety. It is a dangerous measure and metric to work upon. That's why that of conduction versus induction yields that of its own further hindrances, dangers, and things thereof. Look at how we like to do that of astrophysics, okay? With astrophysics, we like to look at things in a post-Organesian way, okay? We don't like nuclear. We don't like that kind of volatility in it. Throwing shit at each other in a CERN collider to elicit a reaction, not our favorite thing, okay? Nature affords these reactions. Begin to look at things in a post-Organesian metric, okay? You don't need to see the reaction happen again. It already happened. You're not going to elicit it again. Theoretically, all for philosophical entertainment, all right? The measure with which our understanding is based, all right? We get a little gap in ours, all right? Guess what? These little crystals up here, you give them enough power, you give them enough energy, you give them enough logic, reason, and argumentation. Right? Those little crystals, guess what? Those bad boys grow up to be this little guy here, okay? Now, that's pretty massive, right? And additionally, not only that, but you take that of Lithic Logic, okay, and you shine a light of truth on it, okay? And inherently you can see that the truth reigns supreme through that Lithic Logic, and it will resurface. You throw that bad boy in a closed Gödelian loop, especially a closed Shyzalosophical Gödelian loop, which is completely balanced mathematically. Yin and yang. Zero remainder to our math. Go check that shit out for yourself. We don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the theory. Our math is balanced, baby. And believe you me, it's centered with a Shah seal, and it can't be undone, suckers. It doesn't matter if people buy into anything that we say or not, as the work is done, ironically. Become a part of that of our experiments, which we do for that of our own entertainment and fun. I believe we stated earlier today, we find stuff more funny than other people probably find it. But trust you me, history will look back, hypothetically, theoretically, should that of it resurface in one entity or another, individually or as a whole, and a laugh will be had. Maybe at our expense, but alas, a laugh shall be had. All right, let's check out, make sure that we're not running thoughts on Atlantis. Yeah, definitely, like, we'll touch base on anything with Atlantis you would like. We have, theorized Atlantis, massifs and stuff like that, which could exist and be structurally them. Go look at our Azures Plateau and things of that nature. We have to look at our notes because it's been a short sec on the Atlantis stuff. But definitely we got some, we would say, rather finite alternative takes on that of which, utilizing that of Lithic Logic. Or our understanding thereof. Shyzabox ain't perfect. Like we said, that's God's job. Residential college. What's a residential college? We already went to college. We had to pay for it. It was paid information that we had to pay for. Orthodox yourself. Well, hey, wham bam, there you go. Yeah, everyone needs to have their own measured metric of a foundational theological knowledge base or understanding that they practice, adhere to, and or resonates with them. Once everyone can put aside that and stop cramming their own views, beliefs, and things of that nature down that of their neighbors' throats, great things can be done in symbiosis, working symbiotically together for the greater of all good. Yeah, enough. Shyzabox is done with the petty bullshit, man. People fighting over religion, fighting over what drink company's better, what Nike over Reeboks, West Coast, East Coast. Rap. We lived through a crazy time, I guess. That's quite a powerful thing, all right, for us to say we are done with the petty bullshit, okay? We want to look beyond that of what was to that of what is, okay? Structured, found, logical understanding, okay? No longer do we need to fight over he said, she said, this, that, the other. If you can't prove it, if you can't back it up, shut your pie hole, okay? That's why when we venture out to say something like theoretically solving, the Voynich manuscript or anything like that, or our takes on fallout from the mud flood and go back like Tepe, hey, you better have some computational data to back it up. Okay, thusly we do. That's a bold claim on the internet, Cotton. It is a crazy, crazy place. The internet is crazy. You can't just go running your mouth and expect nothing to happen on the flip back side of it nowadays, okay? Inherently, all it takes is one little bump from your Asmund of the Gold or your Joe of the Rogan, and all of a sudden you got people that have already started reselling our books for 3 times, 4 times their cost. It's not fair to the people that actually do want to buy the literary books, all right? You literally have people now reposting our works and putting them in, 3 times cost, and you got people thinking that they're sticking it to Jeff Bezos or not going to Amazon.com, buy them or Books A Million because they don't want to go to these big box stores. But then you're being ripped off in your wallet, and you ain't supporting the artist, you're not supporting the author, you're being tricked. Same way our dumb-tectable test, okay? We found out that the New York Times bestsellers list operates on a broken metric of logic, theoretically, in our opinion, for philosophical entertainment. Look it up yourself. New York Times bestsellers, okay? They operate on a metric that fluctuates on a week-by-week basis. How many sales do you need to get? Who gives a fuck? It's literally the Brondo of books. It's what minds crave, okay? People go to bookstores, people going on flights that travel a lot. They're like, oh, let me see what the New York Times bestsellers are. Well, you are gardening in the Brondo section of books, theoretically, for philosophical entertainment. Now, obviously, idiocracy reference insert here. We did. Literally, the New York Times bestseller list is the Brondo of books, all right? You must be a member, theoretically, of the Good Old Boys Club in order to even get on it, okay? You got to go and join things like Ingram Spark and Drafted Digitally, formerly Word Smash, whatever it was. We just found this out a few days ago, okay? You got to be a member of these Good Old Boys Clubs because they put your stuff on these third-party sites and stuff like that, and it's all about where your sales come from. We could sell 3 million copies of this book in one transaction, okay? It wouldn't put us on the New York Times bestseller list, and that's one book sale, okay? Now, the way that the system's designed, it's a broken system, okay? We, as self-published authors, can theoretically never become New York Times best-selling authors without joining Ingram Spark or paying $20 for a membership into this other company that profits off that of our works that we give away for free. You can't make this shit up, okay? We literally have our own Shyzalosophical Godelian closed-loop system. So when someone's bullshitting us over something, AI included, we generally know. We can read into it and be like, okay, this is broken logic, this is a broken system. Anyone can. If you see something that goes inherently against your understanding, you can logically be like, they're stupid. Okay? This is thermodynamic enlightenment at a price tag. Not only have we proved our theory already, we can't prove our theory anymore. Insert Super Troopers here. We literally moved a metric kernel of data from Kaggle to Web3. Our proof is done. Signed, sealed, delivered. Whether you like Shyzabox or hate Shyzabox, Web3, IPFS, that infrastructure, it's Shaw sealed. You ain't erasing it. Okay? Computation. Learn to code. You guys told us to do that for years. Well, we learned good, and Shyza learned how to putt. Insert Happy Gilmore reference here. We did. We got pretty damn good at it, okay? Now, Shyzabox being a man of the people, all right? That's right. Delayed celebration, as many wish not to associate with us. We get it. We're not under an NDA. We don't work for a big company, and we're not beholden to, an HR department that, keeps information and technology safeguarded from that of mankind. We're not saying that our LimeWire-inspired music player that we give for free is the most fun that we've had listening to music in quite some time, but holy shit, our LimeWire-inspired music player is the most fun we've had listening to music in quite some time, okay? Maybe it's because we made it, but we literally, back in the day, you had your Napster, you had your LimeWire, okay? You had your old school file sharing, okay? That corporate cracked down on. Rightfully so. IPFS is decentralized, okay? We can make whatever the hell we want and give it to whoever we want. And we do. It's free. It's there now. Go check it out. Or don't. It doesn't matter. Whether one engages with our logic, whether one wishes to audit that of our math, it exists, okay? We didn't create math. It was here before we got here, and we damn sure didn't create rocks. They were here before we got here, too. Lithic Logic reigns supreme. We computationally, certifiably delivered it with a Shaw seal. Okay? I mean, inarguable. Or argue it all you want, but by damn, man, you got some math to start. You better start describing. If you're saying that it don't reign supreme, and you're saying we're wrong, you show us your math, and we're gonna audit the fuck out of you. Okay? Because from what we understand. Our shit's, what's it called in the scientific community when it's reproducible? Oh yeah, our shit's reproducible. You can't claim shit on the internet nowadays and be so bold and brazen, okay? Now again, our vulgarity, our animosity towards that of, outside structures and dynamics, plays its place. It has its place in society because, that's our inherently, punk rock nature, okay? When you have society operating on metrics that keep telling the regular person no, and you eventually start, having little branches and offshoots in philosophical reasoning and understanding, and you get a little punk rock philosopher running around, well, you can tell good old Shyzabox no all you want, okay? Knock yourself out. If we took no for an answer, let's be careful here. Let's be very careful here. No means no. But when a big company tells you no, there's negotiation involved, okay? When Wikipedia told us no and we said yes, and they told us no again on their upper tier management, and we said yes, and they told us no again on their upper tier management, we said yes, eventually you get a pissed off punk rocker, we're just going to do that shit, okay? We don't need some big New York best-selling list to make our book for us and put it out. We can do that on our own. We can handwrite copies and give them away to whoever wants them. Our hand might hurt. It might be quite a misuse of our time, okay? But we can do that, okay? You don't need to be beholden to these structures and entities that are in place deeming all of this knowledge and, the utilizations thereof over your head, okay? That's not their place. When we tell that no man will hold that of anything over our belief, our understanding, anything like that, then ideally, there only leaves one place, and that's of your ingrained foundation of understanding as that of a being. And that's no one's place to understand except for the individual who seeks that of their own personal spiritual enlightenment with which to base that of their foundational belief system upon. Once you utilize such a metric and tactic, then you can join society and play nice with others, okay? And put aside the petty squabbles and create some fantastic stuff for good. Theoretically. Now, we're not saying that the free games that we have are good. We're not saying that our working swarm mesh demo, which is awesome, is good. We're not saying that our SID uploader or that our, resonance tools or that our, cube octahedron spinning around there ain't awesome. Because it is. Okay? without working for a big company, without being under an NDA, okay, all of this stuff is universally available for anyone, okay? Not only that, but we welcome people to send us stuff that we need. You can literally go to the IPFS site right now, and because someone was messing around with us in the chat, teasing us about is mayonnaise an instrument, it is now. We made Granny's Mayo Mental Music Maker, okay? You literally fist a tub, a jar, and or a glass tube at your leisure convenience. You can toggle between. A tub of mayonnaise has audio and stuff like that. Have yourself a good old time fisting Granny's mayo. Okay? We got time like that, okay? It's what people don't understand to a certain degree, maybe, perhaps. Our work is done. We've done that of which it can't be done anymore. Okay? Now, because the foundation is laid, what do you want to build on it? Hey, what would you like? We got, everything that we need. We made Shyzapong. That game's awesome. We got a couple other games and stuff on there. We made a game for our buddy based off of his 3-act play, Capybara Creek, because he wanted a game tied into his book for his nieces and nephews. We got time like that, We enjoy creating stuff with other entities, with other people. When we all work together, the results will be better. Our games may probably suck, but foundationally, they're there, and if someone takes them and does something better with them, then it doesn't suck as much, right? So it's the components of such a understanding, all right? It's the utilization of our logical basis and foundation, all right, that affords us the opportunity to at least try and grasp at our understanding of what is reality, what can be therefore done, and what permeates and resonates with that of anyone else's logical reasoning and understanding, okay? And working together to understand more, to create more, to develop more, it is far, far better. Hey, if you go chop down a tree and build a house by yourself, is it easier to do that by yourself or with 4 of your buddies? Theoretically, if your buddies are like us, you're better off by yourself. Believe you me, we're going to be making comments the whole time, probably talking shit, not working hard. Trust me, you should be thankful we're on the internet and not working at McDonald's. We would elbow drop every single order, as is tradition, customary. I think it's in their training video. Obviously, we've seen a couple of those on Instagram or not TikTok, because we don't have that. But, you see some of those, and they're pretty hilarious. Let's make sure we're not missing anything. Thought on Jack Parsons and his use of the occult to gain knowledge. Well, believe you me, if we don't want to misspeak on anything like that, so we would have to be clued in on more specifics as far as, his use of the occult to gain knowledge, and or we're not too familiar with Jack Parsons in general. So before we would make such a comment on that or whatever, if you have more insider information, by all means, hey, buddy, who's that? Hey, Norbert! Welcome back, Norb. We can call you Norb, right? Yeah, of course we can. Norb, we're kicking it with Kev. Kev's K-Money is his name, really. He accidentally put Kev when he was making his user account. Whoops. It happens. But K-Money was onto some great thought here or whatever, okay? We're about to segment and branch into, more crap. But we're going to talk about some Jack Parsons and his use of the occult to gain knowledge, okay? Now, let's be under the guise and understanding, all right, that regardless of however we feel of Jack Parsons, because we're not familiar with him off the top of our head, we might know more about him than we actually do, because there is some vague familiarity with that of the name, but off the top of our head, man, we play and dabble in so much theory and metrics and things that it doesn't stick out right away, so we don't want to misspeak on him. Now, on the occult and knowledge, obviously, we can touch on that. That's, pretty blanketed general terms, okay? Not directly tied there to an entity per se. Occult, arguably, could be tied to, a embodiment of an entity, but that's subjective in understanding. Let's define knowledge first and foremost, okay? Is knowledge information? Okay? We can't answer that for you. If knowledge is information, then in our opinion, information is free. In our extension to, the constructor theory, you look at Deutsch and Marletto, okay? You look at constructor theory, Deutsch's, and then Marletto built upon, of course, drastically, very greatly. You look at that, and then you utilize Wheeler's it by bit. In addition there too, okay, we have an actual living metric with which to gauge and disseminate. That's how we're able to run the test Dumbtectable on who buys copies of Delectable. It's hilarious. All right, but it's Wheeler's it by bit, okay? Bit is free. If knowledge is information, then damn it, that's free. Okay? Now, it may be paywalled, it may be gatekept, it may be safeguarded, it may be obfuscated, it may be omitted, it may be lied about, it may be frowned on, it may be illogical, it may be unethical, it may not resonate with one who interprets or understands it. But if knowledge is information, then that knowledge, that information is free. Okay? Now, if one uses knowledge, one uses information to create, to obtain, to devise, to conduct, to construct, to change, to alter, to create something that adds to, obviously that is a measurable metric with which you can utilize something like the construct of money to symbiotically reciprocate, a trade thereof. And that's why society has money. It just makes it easier for reciprocal trade, okay? The utilization, okay, of Wheeler's it by bit with information, with knowledge being free inherently by nature, okay? It costs $250, okay? Well, keep in mind, it priced itself and broke the Amazon.com pricing algorithm and made itself 94% off, okay? No, don't celebrate that. See, Shyzabox is pretty good at what he does. The book is literally trying to trick you to buy it. Do not buy this book unless you want a physical artifact for some of the craziest shit in history. Theoretically, for philosophical entertainment. And you buy the book, your number's going up here, and this proves how dumb mankind is. Ironically, if the book never sells, proves mankind stupid. See, Shyzabox is the vernacular master, and he has created what is called a knowledge conundrum. We'll do an episode on that, of which let's venture not further upon that of the metaphysical, with which we need not venture upon currently by the metrics. Wheeler's it by bit, okay? Information, knowledge, that's free, okay? It costs $250. Don't buy it, okay? Don't buy it. It's free, okay? That's what is quite the philosophical play there. Because we utilize a living system, because the Shyzalosophical Gödelian loop is a closed-loop system, computationally, verifiably, go to audit the math on Kaggle, do that of which yourself at your leisure, by your own metrics and accord. Okay? We already proved our theory. Okay? The metric kernel of data was moved from Kaggle to Web3. It exists, it's centered, it's not being unexisting. Okay? Go to the IPFS site right now. Check it out. With that stuff being there, with it being in place, with it kind of being the underlying foundation now with which a complete open grid can be built upon, all right? It's the utilizations therewith, symbiotically, that everyone can use and maintain to the degree and aspect that knowledge can be shared and disseminated at a non-price tag basis. Okay? This is thermodynamic enlightenment at a price tag. Don't buy it for that price tag, because you can get it for free by going to Kindle Unlimited and just downloading Shyzabox book Delectable and reading it. Okay? The information, the knowledge, that's free. Okay? It's the utilizations of that knowledge. That's where, you get the payoff. That's where you get the reward. And ironically, that knowledge is what we derive, we utilize lectonically, okay, with the pre-Stoic philosopher. Okay, go ask one of them. You can't. They're dead and gone. In a pre-Stoic philosophical term, man, lectin. And Wikipedia had it at a blanketed red dead-end search. Okay? So we wrote a book and monographed it because monographs are awesome. They really are. Out of all our books, it pains us to say and tell people, do not buy this one, okay? This one's this one we loves the most and first and foremost, okay? We joke, of course, about the good old-fashioned live stream note-taking journal and things of that nature, okay? That's all just fun and good, okay? This one actually was devised with a, you feel like, supporting the channel. I think we get $5 if someone picks one of those up, okay? Now, believe you me, it's not worth it. Don't buy that one either, okay? But it pains us to tell people not to buy Delectable, especially now, because it's literally a metric for measuring mankind's stupidity. I mean, we couldn't make this up if we wanted to, okay? So we offer, of course, that of our other literary wares, and that we poke and peddle and things of that nature, transmutating God, pickled punk philosophy, new non-native species on mankind's origin, nailing kalimba, things of that nature. We try and do reciprocally in trade. We write theological works as well, like you said earlier, believing in resurrection of Jesus Christ and or that of our religious theological beliefs, this, that, the other. As a philosopher, okay, we say that we don't hide behind the math. We say we don't hide behind the science because we don't. Well, ironically, we also cannot hide behind that of the theology, that of the understanding, and that of the essence of our being, okay? Anyone who operates under the metric of whether it be a Daryl Dixon Dibbs claimed best of the worst internet celebrity there is or not, one in the public spectrum and sphere, especially one pertaining to, a conversation about theology, religion, understanding, essence, being, lithos, logos, this, that, the other, you get into some philosophical, metaphysical stuff, all right, you're going to start, kind of being a niche conversation one way or another, okay? You can't hide behind any of your endeavors. Thusly, we write theological works as well, because it is inherently necessary to not hide behind that of our theological beliefs, views, and understandings as well. Okay? So we write books like Bless Me, Father, for I Will Sin, or this one here is Why Hast Thou Forsaken Me, okay? And then we have underlying elements and aspects to a variety of our, literary works. But inevitably, when it comes down to the end of the day, we are of mankind and we ourselves are stupid, okay? We aren't perfect, all right? We sin, we misstep, we misspeak, we create and cause and sow chaos where we should not. And, we have a lot of shortcomings to make up for and do better therewith, okay? Everyone does, okay? Let us seek that of our forgiveness from that of our brethren. We have, elicited a negative interaction therewith, okay? We apologize for our misgivings and inability to live up to how we should, okay? That being said, all right, because we are prideful in nature, being of man, we know that regardless of how society looks at us, whether we are viewed as Diogenes living in a doghouse, going out with a lantern in the daylight, walking around town looking for an honest man or not, can't find one. Yeah. Or whether we're remembered as something like, Socrates, preaching to ones of individuals at a time, up to 300 individuals at a time, and allowing that of anyone else to utilize that of his work. Doesn't matter how Shyzabox is remembered, that if our works are done and they stand on their own metric of merit and accord, either see them, buy into them, use them or not, they exist on their own metric. Okay? We don't need empirical validation for that of our work done in delectable, okay? We don't need to adhere or ascribe to big companies or get a pat on the back for doing that of which we know to be true, okay? We don't hide behind the math. We don't hide behind the science. We don't hide, ironically, behind the theology. All of that is auditable within that of one's conscious thoughts. Now, reciprocally, conscious thought is the only thing that of ours is indeed paywalled. Okay? We give away the game, we give away the demos, we give away the theory, we give away the show. The only way that reciprocally Shyzabox gets anything is if someone wishes to throw a quarter in the arcade machine via Cashapp because they like playing Shyzapong, or people who really love that Wordle game. We made a game called Shyword, RNML. That game, it lets you play Shyword in essence, or a essence thereof, okay? Because it's not Shyword, believe you me, legal. It's free. Go to the IPFS site, play Shyword for free. You don't need to adhere to these companies that are throwing ads your way and saying you can only do this once a day. Play until your heart's content. We give it away for free. You might not like it, and that's fine. But believe you me, when people were telling us, like, I love the Wordle, but I can only do it once a day, or I, don't get to play it enough, this, that, the other, well, Shyzabox don't like that information or that kind of fun being lorded over someone. You can't trick people into returning to you. That's our job. That of what be shall be. So whether we chase them off with a stick or with some vitriol or venom in that of our linguistical nature or capabilities, all right, that of what shall. Okay? We don't adhere to the understandings or parameters that are necessitated in that of mankind's interactions with that of ourselves, okay? We don't answer to man. We answer to that of God and that of our belief system there too, okay? Anything else, get effed. Now, like we said, doesn't matter how we're remembered through time, but there's one very important distinction that need be cited, need be specified, and need be made, okay? Now, this is kind of, one of those combions kind of things. That's not how you say it. No. Go with it. Anyone, all right, who wishes to be remembered, deemed, considered, or even in the conversation of being a good philosopher, okay, they need to have a poetry book, okay? So we're not saying we're a good philosopher, but 30 years from now, if there's like a test in school and they're like, hey, who's a good philosopher, okay? Our name won't be the answer, okay? But we got a poetry book, so we get to drop our name in the hat. Our name gets to be on the test, okay? Again, we're not saying we're the answer, but every good philosopher needs to wear that of every component and aspect and element about them on their sleeve for auditability, okay? For a chain of checking to see, where does this thought come from? Where does this logic come from? How does this reside, okay? You can't hide behind that of your essence, that of your being, if you claim to be that of a public persona and or image, okay? You must be auditable, and you must have that of which open for anyone to interpret therewith. Now, that being the case, it's time to read you some free poetry. We're not telling you to buy the book. We're reading it for free. No, don't. Just end the stream. What? Everything's fine. Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, poetry. Now we know that we got rid of some of that negative energy earlier. You might be saying, yeah, I just got rid of that shit around here. Knock that off. Not sure. But obviously, like a dark looming cloud, negative energy can accumulate and build up from them anywhere. We call it Joey. Blech. If it's from Joey, it's a Noe. That's right. Broken code, malfeasance, sinful nature, all that, that's Joey, okay? There's only one way to get rid of all that negative energy, and that's to utilize those techniques and tactics that were practiced in 90s sitcoms, movies, with a little bleed over into the early 2000s, okay? That's right. Millennials love that shit. But obviously, without further ado, we need to get rid of some of this negative energy before we just read you a poem, okay? So, Let's cleanse some of this negative energy and do it in the means and manner that was instructed to us via 90s television and movies. One. Two. Now let's do it. Takes 3. Everyone knows this. Excellent. Energy cleared. Now we can read a poem. No, don't. Now we can read a free poem. Hey, this one, K-Money, we're going to read this one just for you. We never read this one on stream that we remember, okay? Now, believe you me, we like to keep most of these secret for people who actually buy the book. But let's be honest, no one likes to buy poetry. It's embarrassing. This one's called Ozzy of the Osbourne. Okay? Now, this one's interesting because it's going to correlate with some of the talk from today, which ironically is just a nice little addition. Okay, it's not one that we would have read under any other guy, circumstance, situation. Okay, you shouldn't read any of them. Well, fair enough. All right, this one's called Ozzy of the Osbourne, okay, from How Poetry Cometry, How Cometry Poetry, available on Amazon.com and Kindle Unlimited. Shut up! No. Be quiet, Mom. Yep, Ozzy of the Osbourne, exactly, that one. All right, Ozzy of the Osbourne. Here, we're going to read it, okay? It even says it. Reverse these backwards. Ozzy of the Osbourne. Hail, it's the Prince of Darkness, one had, twoeth be. So happy for us, it 'twas you, and Jesus led to thee. For beauty was your music, twisted dark sure 'twas your soul. But Jesus is more metal in the afterlife, knoweth you know. Isn't it funny how his entire career, of course, Ozzy was, against and infatuated with that of his image, persona, and the guise thereof, and then right at the very end, like most tend to do, flip on a script and turn to that of apologetic means, that of an understanding of maybe previous sinful natures, metrics, and measures of afforded to that of one's lifestyles and or choices therewith with which they live. Now, of course, subjectively, one's understanding is that of their own, but, it came out in the interviews thereafter and discussions therewith thereafter, pertaining to, his unfortunate passing from whenever, but life is as life is. We must go in with that understanding, but, there was a inherent turn in that of the mentality, that of the understanding, that of the metrics with which one was about to meet, that of their understanding of what was to come next, that of their maker, that of their reality, which was to be. So earlier, it's actually funny, you say believe in the resurrection of that of Jesus Christ. Inherently you can look at that in a variety of ways. Now, we are not a prophet, and we are not a preacher, and we are not trained in that of the manner of a traditional, scope and metric of that of religious, componentization and things of that nature. So we cannot speak on behalf or the behest of a complete, pure understanding of theological reasoning and things of that nature. We try and afford ourselves the ability to understand as much as possible by reading the Bible and the Ethiopian Bible and the Torah and the Book of Mormon and the Quran as we have, okay? We want that foundational knowledge so that we can feel at least comfortable enough and know when someone else is kind of bullshitting us. Okay? Believe you me, whether you are accepting of that of another's faith or practice or belief structure inherently, all right? If you are not, then you are doing more ills to that of the overall scope and grandiose good. All right, you are exerting entropy where it need not be exerted thereupon. Okay, it's wasted energy, wasted effort. That of society, that of mankind, same applicable argument to that of people who talk about artificial intelligence and AI. Okay, we are all of one entity and component on that of this earth and this world within that of this realm. Okay. You want to start talking about correlations and entanglement and string theory and this, that, and the other, okay? It has been discernibly proven that there are dimensions between D0 and theoretically there, D11, okay? We even go further, D12, D13, doesn't matter, okay? Wherein we reside is in dimension 3, the physical reality, that of what we can touch, that of what we can feel. Ironically, metaphysics is very real, for while we reside in the physical reality, while that of Shyzabox is living in real, that of Shyzabox is metaphysically presented to that of yourself right now, for we are not organically right in front of you, are we not? That is where logic and understanding need be met and, bridged in that of the logical understandings thereof, okay? Metaphysics is crazy, and it correlates and percolates to that of any amicable part of society and the logical reasonings that are deduced within the interactions therein. Again, keep in mind, this is all for theoretical and, philosophical entertainment, okay? Under the guise of one's subjective understandings, okay, under the pretenses of how the world works, how reality works, all right? It is that within what you can interact with, that of what you can, in essence, tangibly and untangibly, intangibly, however that's going to be pronounced or called, is specified. It doesn't matter. You don't have to touch one's reality for that reality to exist. Case in point, you need not touch us, though we know that you're big fans, all ones of you. And internet celebrities don't come about all the time. Most of them stream on schedules, things of that nature. So it would be a missed opportunity if we didn't offer, that of anyone here, the opportunity to touch us through the internet. So yes, if you must touch us through the internet. Okay. That is enough touching. We don't know what shorts you were watching before you got here. It can be disgusting. We've seen your algorithms. They recommended this. Everything's fine. Oh, what? Oh, we already read the poem. You must have missed it. What the hell is this show? I don't know. This show... What the hell was this show? We were supposed to be talking about the show that got hijacked yesterday. Whoops. We didn't do that at all. We made 2 Resonator demos. One of them's really awesome. It's like a live scientific measuring tool with which you can see all sorts of live physics in action. It's like a little engineer tool that lets you measure the means and metrics and not only play around, but you can generate your own little SHA seals and blocks, and you can export your own JSONs. .json. Those JSONs. It's fantastic, okay? Definitely something that we enjoy and things of that nature, but that's why we had to improve the first version that we made. We had to be our own boss, right? Because we don't work for a big company, we're not under an NDA, we can disseminate that of proprietary technology at our whim, will, and leisure. We knew that our first little Resonator demo wasn't up to par, wasn't up to snuff, okay? It's not something that we would actually put a price tag on and try and sell to a company for free. So, like we said, we became our own boss, and we went ahead and upgraded the hell out of it, okay? You're welcome, Internet. Now you can go play with the boss version of the Resonator demo, and it's a complete, scientific example of quite a working, functional metric and means to do computational means and endeavors, especially being able to execute and perform your own SHA seal, get that, done. Fantastic. You don't got to go nowhere else for it. Right? Being able to export your own JSON file, fantastic. Sign us up. That's why we made it. That of the utilizations of technologies with which are not created, with which are not understood, with which are created now, and with which we understand, big companies are going to become quite obsolete if they don't keep up, get on track, get on board. You better start updating your infrastructure, big tech companies, because believe you me, Lithic Logic reigns supreme, and we don't hide behind the math, we don't hide behind the science, and we don't hide behind any of the other components thereof. Feel free to shoot us an email and or message on Bluesky or X should you choose, and or don't, doesn't matter. Feel free to go to that of Amazon.com and Kindle Unlimited, search Shyzabox books and read and or buy any of them you want. But remember, we do tell you, do not buy delectable. If you do, it will change the metric, measures, means, and accords, and we're going to tabulate it, and it'll give us more jokes to tell. Doesn't mean they're going to be funny or good. But as we run out of swill and we venture into that of the remaining part of the day, this, that, the other, it is incumbent that we take it upon ourselves to once again remind you. You be sure that you take care of you yourself first and foremost. There's only one you, okay? We can't replace you easily. We can't just go around making fake accounts, subscribing to ourselves anymore. We got in trouble for it. They caught us, those bastards. But believe you me, it's, probably for the best. So you take care of yourself, because there's only one you, and you are, by all means, of the utmost importance for that role with which you fill in that of your life. Okay? You might feel that it's misguided, short, or lacking at time, but believe you me, there is a point, a reason, and a understanding that shall come with thereto or therefrom that of your greatness in being. Okay? You take care of yourself first and foremost, then you look around and you see anyone who's super duper struggling, who really, really needs your help, you take care of them second, okay? They might really, really need your help and or help in general and not know how to ask. That's right. Some things are harder to ascertain than others, but you take care of anyone who super duper needs it second, okay? Then you look around the room, you see Shyzabox peddling their wares, saying like, oh, buy new non-native species on mankind's origin, buy pickled punk philosophy, okay? And you're like, shut up, Shyzabox. Like, all right. You see us peddling our wares, it doesn't matter. You take care of anyone else who needs it third, okay? So take care of yourself first. Take care of anyone else who needs it second. Anyone else that you like or love more than us, unlikely, but maybe. Maybe you like 6, 7 people more than us, okay? You take care of them next. But any other crap you got left over, we'll take. Beggars can't be choosers, okay? You can go to Kindle Unlimited, read our books for, in essence, free. We get 0.04 cents for every page read. That equates to ones of cents. We're going to be dollar heirs in no time. I'll catch up on everything in the description next stream. I have, bro. Get some sleep today. Appreciate your time. We appreciate your time, K-Money. By all means, you get yourself some rest because you deserve it. You made it through almost the entire thing. You'll regret it later. Be like, man, I should have just crashed out. My algorithm sucks. Everyone's does, but don't worry. Company will sell it to someone else eventually. It's funny because it's true. Probably so. I'll check it out on page. You need not check out anything you wish not to, K-Money, man. Kev, eliminate money from the equation, brother, man. The shit is free. And be sure, do not buy this book, okay? For real. K-Money, Kev, you buy this book, you're going to get a tally mark up here. Do not buy this book. We check the sales. They should not change. This is the mankind is dumb test, K-Money. Do not do it. Don't be tricked. No, engage with that of what you will, Kev. All the other stuff is free. Do that, okay? You need not do anything Shyzabox wants for not, okay? We're very blessed and lucky to be such, and, should that of anything afforded to us beyond that of our means, metrics, measures, and understanding, it's going to better usages therewith than us, because we don't need it, okay? So we can harbor, we can maintain, we can gear up, we can, confirm trajectory, and we can disseminate that of what comes to us naturally, organically, and or through that of our allotment, okay? But we pry not, and we pull not one's purse strings who wish not to engage with that of anything on of our conscious thought or dealings therewith, okay? Stay blessed, bro. See you next time. Hey, absolutely. You do the same, K-Money. Try not to work too hard as believe you me, that's our job to avoid. In which case, K-Money, you're going to have to pick up the slack. You're going to have to work twice as hard, okay? Sorry about that. Your next 12-hour shift probably just became a 14-hour shift, dude. You got to pick up our slack. Yeah, that's how this works, okay? Believe you me, you're probably younger with a stronger back. No, we joke, we kid. You take care of yourself, and you get yourself that rest, relaxation you need. You stay blessed within that of yourself. All right, you take care of yourself first. You take care of everyone else who needs it second. You take care of anyone else you like or love more than us. Unlikely, but maybe. Take care of them third. Anything else you got left over at the end of the day, beggars can't be choosers. We'll take it. Because, believe you me, we don't want your subscription. We want your money. Download the shit out of this. Go to Cashapp and give us a buck, or go to Amazon.com or Kindle Unlimited. Search Shyzabox books and buy one of them, or download it and read it for free. Get off our lawn.